Off-Road's arrival in 2008 would prove that games needed something beyond a very basic concept in order to stand out. Technically the 7th entry in the Ford Racing series, which never really set the world on fire to begin with, Razorworks would replace street racing with off-road driving and include vehicles from Land Rover. But rather than give the series a recharge, the unfulfilling action lacks both a sense of speed and consistent AI to battle against, as well as coming up very short on content. Even on the PSP, there were many races that came before and after that offered more substantial and, most importantly, more fun driving experiences. Off-Road brings together 18 vehicles from both Ford and Land Rover, ranging from beastly trucks to 4x4s. The problem is that no matter what vehicle you drive, racing suffers from a general lack of velocity and thrills. Whether you're going 10 miles per hour or 110, the sensation of driving feels identical. It doesn't help that the limited number of cars can be tested out sharpish. Handling is generally fine, though physics can see your vehicle toppling over a little too easily. The AI compounds matters, jumping between dumb and unfair with little warning. Sometimes drivers will crash and struggle to recover. Other times they bounce back from a distance with some obvious rubber banding, and a generally aggressive drive often sees opponents who are way too willing to trade paint with you. The racing here is the definition of mediocre. There is also a striking lack of content. Along with a shortage of cars, there are only 12 tracks, with the number doubling if you include reverse variants. While the shift between desert, Arctic and tundra does present some variety, you'll start seeing tracks repeat fast. Track design is also lacking, with most only housing a couple of extra paths which, weirdly, often see you fall behind rather than gain a shortcut. The main meat of the game is Championship, with 30 events that involve multi-stage racing for the most part. In between, you can partake in special events that add a few twists to the standard racing. Expedition places 5 hidden artifacts on a track to find, Overtake challenges test your speed, and Gold Rush fills the track with coins to collect. However, none of these variations feel fun beyond a couple of plays, and add little excitement to the dreary racing. Outside of Championship, which can be beaten in a few sittings, there is little else to see. Quick Race lets you jump straight into a random race. Tournament offers a handful of 4-race gauntlets that don't differ from the usual events in Championship, while Arcade lets you replay special challenges you've already experienced. The only neat aspect is multiplayer, which allows 6 PSPs to connect together. You can partake in standard races, expedition matches and damage control events, the latter rewarding the win to the first player to cross the finish line while taking the least damage. But considering several superior races offer multiplayer on the same system, you'll probably struggle to convince 5 friends to pick up Off-Road. Off-Road does at least look decent, and runs at a smooth clip. Vehicle models are nicely detailed, with some noticeable visual damage that requires special kits to repair. It's only a shame that damage doesn't seem to affect driving much. Environments bear a solid amount of detail, and some of the later, ice-covered tracks look particularly good. The audio, sadly, fares much worse. Engine sounds get the job done, but the racing otherwise sounds a bit sparse, with cheap crash effects. The short soundtrack consists of generic guitar loops that drain what little intensity the driving had, and you could probably mute the audio and miss very little. Off-road unfortunately suffers from mediocre racing and a serious lack of energy. A dearth of modes, cars and tracks only make matters worse. While a visually solid game for the system, presentation alone is not enough to salvage this one. Unless you are a die-hard fan of off-road and Land Rover, or have exhausted the rest of the PSP's racing catalogue, you could probably skip this one with ease. Needless to say, Off-Road did little to change the fortunes of the Ford Racing series, ending its run with a whimper.